Hello, my name is Felix Prego, and today we're going to be taking a look at the molecule biotin. Biotin has a molecular formula of C10H16N2O3S. It has a molecular weight of 244.31 grams per mole. In regards to its physical characteristics, it is a solid at room temperature. Its color and form is usually colorless and crystalline. Its melting point is 232. That is when it decomposes. It doesn't have a boiling point because when it's already that hot, it does not even exist anymore. It is already decomposed. And lastly, the solubility in water is 220 milligrams per liter at room temperature or 25 degrees Celsius. And here we have the picture on the right side. This is how biotin looks like. And now on to some basic chemical characteristics, which is that biotin is not hazardous because it is not flammable and it is also, as stated before, solid in room temperature. In regards to biotin structure, it is an organic heterobicyclic compound that consists of a valeric acid substituent. This valeric acid substituent is then attached to a tetrahydrothiophene ring. So if you were to look on the right side, you can see that the valeric acid is with the two oxygens, and those bonds continue to connect, and it ends, the valeric acid at least, it ends where it meets the ring with the sulfur bond. This ring is then called the tetrahydrothiophene ring. And lastly, I just wanted to mention that biotin has no other enantiomers aside from D-biotin, which is also a stereoisomer because it differs in how the hydrogen bonds in the outside are arranged due to steric strain. We're now going to move on to biotin's relation to humans, where it serves the primary function of breaking down fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. It is also important to remember that we do not take additional supplements unless our doctor tells us to, because our food that we eat already contains enough vitamin B7 or biotin to sustain ourselves. There are a few cases that state how too much biotin can be a detriment to our lives in that we get skin rashes. However, it can still not be said that biotin is fatal in large doses because it is water soluble. And because it is water soluble, our urinary system can simply flush it out. This water solubility, however, is thus why that biotin is part of the vitamin B class. And so that is why it is very hard to overdose on vitamin Bs in general. In regards to the vitamin B class as a whole, it is this group of vitamins that allows our bodies to convert food into usable energy. The most notable ones of vitamin B include vitamin B1, thiamine, vitamin B2, riboflavin, vitamin B3, which is niacin, vitamin B6, pyridoxine, and vitamin B12, which is cyanocobalamin. Now let's talk about the history of biotin. Biotin was first discovered in 1924 when they were investigating the cause of the egg white injury on rats. They discovered that when egg whites were being eaten by the rats would lose their hair and develop a condition of dermatitis. Scientists thought that these egg whites were simply toxic to animals, and that the skin lesions were simply because of the diet, and that it can be cured from the heat stable factor that are from yeast. They described these heat stable factors as BIOS2, vitamin H, and coenzyme R. They observed that all three of these factors were necessary for the growth of microorganisms. It wouldn't be later on within that year of 1924 that all three were found out to be the same water-soluble vitamin, biotin. Having known this, later in 1932, Coagul and Toenes isolated this factor from the egg yolk and fed the rats only this in supplements, and they soon found out that they were cured of their dermatitis and loss of hair. In 1936, it was then later named biotin, and then finally in 1943, the US and European investigators established the chemical properties and structure. So now let's look at where biotin comes from. Humans cannot make biotin, but the gut bacteria can produce biotin for us. So if we eat foods like egg yolks, legumes, nuts, and seeds, the livers of some animals, sweet potatoes, mushrooms, bananas, broccoli, yeast, and avocados, yes, our gut bacteria can produce biotin. Otherwise, we do have to have a readily source available to us because it is a water-soluble molecule, and thus it will easily dissolve and get washed away through our urinary system. If you do need to purchase it because your doctor recommends it, then biotin is purchasable from off the shelf or off the counter stores like Walgreens, and they sell it to you in a pill. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, I am proud to announce that biotin is a hero. Biotin is a hero because it is hard to overdose on, and it ensures that we have a steady supply of energy for our nails, hair, and as well as skin. Some of the lesser effects of biotin include healthy weight loss, the good and proper function of the heart, the maintenance of blood sugar levels, and lastly, the maintenance and growth of muscles.